Hello everybody, it is Thursday, the 20th of December. I want to talk about blind faith and that it is the curse of Rome. It really is a curse to this world. And it is creating this reality that we live in now. And I want to show you this, step by step, how we got here. What is the root of our quiescence? And it is the root of our quiescence. So, as I said before, I have gone east, and I love it there. I'm still only looking at the basics of the teachings of Vedanta and the thinking of the rishis, and I love those guys, I really do. I love their thinking. So, for the rishis, if something was brought, a claim to a truth, a higher truth, that claim could not be taken at face value, but it needed to stand the test of reason and of experience in this world. And if it didn't stand that test, they would not accept it as truth. So one of the teachers said, if 100 scriptures claimed that fire was cold and dark, those teachings must be rejected because it's not borne out by experience. So they cannot be accepted as truth. And that is in complete contrast to what is now Western religion. If somebody comes with a prophetic vision, it is of God, and therefore you have to accept it in blind faith. Know your place, you're nothing. And you're not allowed to reason about it. In fact, you've been told very squarely that you can't. You're not capable of doing it, so don't even try. But again, that thinking was brought in by Rome. It did not exist before that. Because if you see the old texts, the Gnostic texts, and what you see there is that the disciples actually argued with each other. Fancy that! They were actually allowed to disagree with enlightened knowledge. So if one disciple came and something had come to him, whether the way by meditation or whatever, something was revealed to him. And he would give that knowledge to the other disciples, and they would say, well, that can't be right. And they would actually discuss that. They were free to disagree. But with Rome, the whole thing changed. Rome selected texts which made a claim to truth. And so that is a selection of claims that they have there. And they say, first of all, that is truth. And there's nothing outside of that. Only what is in this little selection of claims. And you're not allowed to reason outside of that or even inside of that claim, because you're going to get burned as a heretic if you do. And that is blind faith. And so we should apply reason. Now, first of all, we are imprisoned inside of this selection of claims. We're not allowed to leave it or even look at it inside, just repeat as you were told. But there's another thing, like the claim that Jesus made. Seek and you shall find. Ask and you shall be given, which is a huge claim. Which at the moment we cannot actually accept as truth. Not really. Unless it is borne out by reason and by experience. I mean, back then, reason, science could not really explain what is going on, but experience seems to have borne it out anyway at that time. So, as I said, at the moment, as we are, we cannot, by the thinking of the rishis, we cannot accept that as truth. But we could seek it, we could look for it, we could reason about it, we could find a way to make it an experience. But then again, we're not allowed to do that. Yeah? This is not talking about you. This is Jesus. And Jesus is the only one that can do that, which in the text it doesn't actually say that. But so Jesus is the only one that can do that, and Jesus must come back and do it for you. Can't do it yourself. So don't even look there. In fact, if you look there, you elevate yourself again to something that you are not. Know your place. You are the village idiot. And I think in a way that by us being prevented from even seeking knowledge about that, I think it is the process of seeking knowledge about that would actually bring it. Yeah? Maybe. If it does, it's borne out as truth, but we are not even allowed to go on the way of seeking. Again, there we're being blocked from finding knowledge. Because we have to operate within the knowledge that was given to us. And we can't go outside of it. So, and I said, this is creating this world. And again, can what I've just said be borne out by experience? And it can very much so. Especially very recent experience. Yeah? So first of all, what this does, this thinking, it creates a blueprint in your head of how this works. Yeah? Somebody's been given a higher knowledge, whether that be of God, yeah, an enlightened knowledge, or whether it is born out of, let's say, scientific knowledge. So you have the gods and the mighty, yeah, enlightenment and science, which are both higher levels of knowledge than the ordinary person would be in. And then you have to accept that as truth. Yeah? So you have the Fauci standing there saying, I am science, how dare you? How dare you say something against me? But that creates a blueprint of how to behave in people, and that creates acquiescence. If it's higher authority, you must follow blindly. And that creates acquiescence. So if you think what happened in the last 2 years, again, we had a higher knowledge, which was science, and it was a selective science. So claims were selected, and there could be nothing outside of those claims. Again, that's the way of Rome. Yeah? And people did acquiesce to the people of higher knowledge. And then you had the case of, like, Professor Sukrabhakti, who is now being taken to court in Germany for daring to make a different claim outside of, what was presented as truth. So there's a heretic to the truth that we all must believe in. It is that thinking coming to earth. It is being used. So, and really, as Professor Sukrabhakti said, it is the discourse, it is the discussion, also the disagreement, yeah, that propels knowledge forward, science forward. And it's through that process that science moves forward. And that is a process that is not taking place. we are not allowed to have a discussion, either on a spiritual level or now on a physical level. We must follow blindly. We must have blind faith in those that supposedly have a higher knowledge than we have. And that is a curse. That is the curse of Rome. And that is what is the root of our quiescence. And if we bring that to awareness and stop doing it unconsciously, then maybe this world will change. Anyway, I leave it at that for today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.